10-year-old Sarah moved into the old Victorian house with her family. The house had been in her family for generations, passed down from her great-grandmother. It was a place filled with history, memories, and secrets. Sarah had heard stories about the house from her grandmother, tales of hidden rooms and mysterious happenings, but she never imagined she would experience them firsthand. The house stood tall and imposing, its Gothic architecture casting long shadows on the ground. The windows were like dark eyes, watching every move. The front door, heavy and ornate, seemed to guard the secrets within. Its paint peeled like scabs, revealing the age and wear of the structure. The once vibrant colors had faded, leaving behind a ghostly facade. It was as if the house itself was trying to shed its old skin to reveal something hidden beneath. Shadows danced in the dusty attic windows, creating eerie shapes that seemed to move with a life of their own. Sarah often found herself staring at those windows, wondering what secrets they held. The attic was a place she was forbidden to enter, but her curiosity grew with each passing day. Strange noises echoed from the walls at night, the creaking of floorboards, the whisper of the wind through the cracks, and sometimes faint voices that seemed to be having conversations. Sarah would lie in bed, clutching her blanket, trying to make sense of the sounds. Whispers seemed to follow Sarah wherever she went. They were soft, almost inaudible, but persistent. She would turn around expecting to see someone, but there was never anyone there. It was as if the house itself was trying to communicate with her. Cold drafts chilled her room, even with the windows shut tight. She felt a presence, something unseen but undeniably there. It was a feeling that made her skin crawl, a sense of being watched. She would often wake up in the middle of the night, her breath visible in the cold air, and feel the weight of unseen eyes upon her. Someone or something was watching her. The feeling was strongest in her grandmother's old room, a place filled with antique furniture and the scent of lavender. Sarah's grandmother had passed away years ago, but her presence lingered in that room. It was as if she was still there, watching over Sarah, or perhaps trying to warn her. One night, Sarah decided to investigate. She couldn't take the whispers and the cold drafts any longer. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of determination, she set out to uncover the truth. She had to know what was causing the strange occurrences in the house. She crept down the hallway, her heart pounding. The whispers grew louder, more distinct. They seemed to be calling her name, urging her to come closer. The hallway was long and dark, the only light coming from her flashlight, casting eerie shadows on the walls. They seemed to be coming from her grandmother's old room. The door to the room was slightly ajar, as if inviting her in. Sarah hesitated for a moment, her hand trembling as she reached for the doorknob. She took a deep breath and pushed the door open. The door creaked open, as if inviting her in. The room was dark, the only light coming from the moon outside the window. The whispers were louder now, almost deafening. Sarah stepped inside, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. She was about to uncover the secrets of the whispering walls. 11-year-old Emily always felt different. She had recurring dreams, vivid dreams that bled into her reality. They were like premonitions, glimpses into the future. At first, it was just small things. Then the dreams grew stronger, clearer. One day, Emily dreamt of a car accident on their street. When it happened the next day, exactly as she saw it, fear gripped her. What was she supposed to do with this gift, this curse? Could she change fate, or was she doomed to watch helplessly? 12-year-old Jessica inherited her great-grandmother's antique dollhouse. It was beautiful, with intricate details. Tiny furniture and delicate china filled each room. Jessica spent hours arranging and rearranging the miniature world. One day, Jessica noticed the dolls had moved. Their positions were different. At first, she dismissed it, thinking she had imagined it. But then it happened again, and again. The dolls were moving on their own, acting out scenes inside their glass-encased world. 9-year-old Lily had always been afraid of the dark. Shadows seemed to dance and writhe, taking on menacing shapes. Her fear intensified when she started noticing a strange figure lurking in the reflection of her bedroom mirror. Every night, the shadow grew more distinct. It mimicked her movements, but with a sinister twist. It felt like the shadow was trying to break free from its mirrored prison, to reach out and grab her. Lily couldn't tell anyone, fearing they wouldn't believe her. Section 5. The Ghostly Sleepover. A group of friends, including 10-year-old Katie, decided to have a sleepover in the old abandoned house at the end of the street. The house had a spooky reputation, rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl who died tragically. As the night deepened, the girls shared scary stories, their voices hushed. Then the strange noises began, soft whispers, disembodied laughter, and the feeling of cold air swirling around them. A shadowy figure appeared in the hallway, its eyes glowing in the dark. Section 6. The Secret of the Old Cemetery. 11-year-old Megan loved exploring the old cemetery with its moss-covered headstones and crumbling statues. It was peaceful and serene, a stark contrast to the bustling town around it. One day, she discovered a hidden section, tucked away behind a thicket of overgrown ivy. The headstones here were different, older, with strange symbols carved into the stone. As she traced the symbols with her fingers, Megan felt a cold shiver run down her spine. It was as if she had awakened something, a presence that was not entirely welcoming. Section 7. The Disguised Identity. 10-year-old Chloe loved playing in the woods behind her house. The forest was her sanctuary, a place where she could escape the mundane routines of everyday life. She would spend hours exploring the dense foliage, climbing trees, and pretending to be an adventurer on a grand quest. She imagined it was a magical forest, filled with fairies and talking animals. In her mind, the trees whispered secrets, and the streams sang lullabies. Every rustle of leaves was a sign of hidden magic, and every shadow held a story waiting to be discovered. One afternoon, she met a strange girl hiding among the trees. This girl seemed to appear out of nowhere, as if she had materialized from the very essence of the forest itself. Chloe was both intrigued and cautious. The girl was her age, with long flowing hair and an ethereal beauty. Her eyes sparkled like the morning dew, and her presence felt almost otherworldly. Chloe couldn't help but be mesmerized by her. The girl refused to tell Chloe her name or where she came from. She was secretive, always evading Chloe's questions with a mysterious smile. It was as if she carried 1,000 secrets within her, and Chloe was determined to uncover them. She spoke in riddles and seemed to vanish into thin air whenever Chloe turned her back. One moment she would be there, and the next, she would be gone, leaving Chloe to wonder if she had imagined the whole encounter. Chloe was drawn to the mysterious girl, but as time went on, she began to suspect her new friend wasn't who she claimed to be. The girl's behavior grew increasingly strange, and Chloe couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She decided to investigate further, determined to uncover the truth behind the disguised identity. Section 8. The Mysterious Attic. 8-year-old Anna was forbidden from entering the attic. Her parents had always been very clear about it. The attic was off limits, a place she should never venture into, no matter how curious she might be. Her parents told her it was full of old junk and dangerous because of exposed nails and loose floorboards. They warned her that the attic was not a place for children, emphasizing the potential hazards that lurked within its dark corners. But Anna's curiosity got the better of her. She often found herself staring at the attic door, wondering what secrets it held. The more she was told to stay away, the more she wanted to explore it. One rainy afternoon, while her parents were busy downstairs, she decided to sneak upstairs. The rain pattered against the windows, masking the sound of her footsteps as she tiptoed towards the attic door. Her heart raced with anticipation and a hint of fear. The attic was dark and dusty, filled with cobwebs and the musty smell of old things. The air was thick with the scent of forgotten memories, and the dim light from a single window cast eerie shadows on the walls. Anna wandered through the maze of forgotten treasures, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. She carefully stepped over old boxes and broken furniture, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the strange and fascinating objects around her. In the far corner, she spotted a large wooden chest, its lid slightly ajar. The chest seemed to call to her, beckoning her to come closer and discover what lay inside. With a deep breath, she approached the chest, her hands trembling with anticipation. Section 9. Conclusion: Facing Our Fears. Each girl in these stories faced her fears head-on. They learned that the unknown can be scary, but it can also be exciting. They discovered that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to face it. These spooky encounters taught the girls valuable lessons about themselves and the world around them. They learned that sometimes the things that scare us the most are the ones we create in our own minds. And sometimes, the best way to overcome our fears is to confront them.